Hey, how's it going? It is June 22nd, 2019, and it is day 10 of my Touch 10 plan. I'm really excited to get to this point. This is going to be a summary video where I'm going to talk primarily about what worked and what didn't work in the first 10 days. So we have 90 days total. That means basically if we looked at this in sets of 10, we have 8 more sessions after this. So I would like to continue to improve, and let's talk about it. Ultimately, the beginning of the whole Touch 10 process was a little bit chaotic. I had a lot of different appointments going on, things that were thrown in that I wasn't expecting, and ultimately I let things be really loose. The most successful day I've had in the entire 10 days so far was day 5, I believe. Day 5 was the day where I made a list that I prioritized, and then I just really committed to making sure that I was going in order, and that I touched all of those before the end of the day. So I actually did, and if I recall, that day I completed all of my touches before midnight, which is pretty impressive. Ultimately, I would like to see more productivity as time goes on. I do feel like in terms of the whole point of the Touch 10 process, I'm reaching it. I'm focusing on my purpose, and I'm being productive towards my purpose. I am connecting with more people and spreading love. I am finding the gratitude and feeling the gratitude to the greatest extent. Having a lot of realizations constantly throughout the day. I'm doing numerous emotional check-ins, and it's really been so far a very profound process. I haven't really had much of an easy time getting all of my touches done other than that one day. And so the second half of all of these Touch 10 has been really the intervals. So I've been messing around with different intervals of how long to spend on a touch task. So if I am going to spend half an hour, which I spent 2 days trying to do half an hour, I try to get half an hour in of every touch, so that way the point was that I would just continue to be productive. That as distracted as I would get, at least I was doing something that was productive, because ultimately, a little by little would add up to a lot. I just didn't have enough time to get anything done. And when I did an hour, which was today and yesterday's plan, although today was a little bit different, an hour was really difficult because I was finding tasks I had either took way longer than an hour or were much faster. So how is it that I navigate appointments and all these other limits? I think that's going to be a really big thing that I look at in the next 10 days are realistically, how am I going to get around my limits? And this is something that I've been trying to figure out ever since I got sick over 6 years ago, at least. Just what my limits are and really testing them, and every time I'm bedridden and get back up again, I have to test my limits all over again. So ultimately, I'm much farther along right now in health progress than I've been in a long time, and so I'm at a good spot where I can push myself a little bit, and I can see how far I can really go. But the only reasons I can do that are because the Touch 10 plan has continuously made me mindful of how I'm spending my time, as well as having a work-life balance. So even though I constantly feel like I'm not working enough, and maybe to some people I'm not, I know that if I work significantly more than that right now, with the way my health is especially, I will collapse and I won't be able to work at all. So I'm really working on radically accepting the fact, and I keep coming back to this every time I think that I've accepted the fact that I'm disabled. Something happens, and I then suddenly realize that I'm farther along in my acceptance and coming to peace with it, more than I was at before. So obviously, you know, there's some change and some progress going on. You know, I think ultimately there's going to be a lot of things that don't work about the methods I try during this plan. But what is very clear to me is that the main premise of this plan, to get to happiness, to make sure I'm feeling fulfilled by my purpose, to make sure that I'm connecting with people and spreading love and feeling loved and loving myself, making sure that I'm experiencing gratitude, finding gratitude, sharing the gratitude, really letting it sink in. These are all things that I care deeply about, and I'm thoroughly convinced that if I personally focus on those three things, that I will ultimately reach this true happiness that I'm seeking. So we'll see what happens. 10 days is a decent amount of time. I've been recording throughout the day, a couple times a day, and although you aren't seeing all of it, you can see most of it at Patreon. So www.patreon.com/ that's / right? Tranibus. And they are going up slowly, one by one, at transtrusted.com. So until the next video, I'll see you.